Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. It's wonderful to be here. Today we have a great study. Before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation on behalf of all of us here for all of you, for all of your support in the beginning of this new year, making it possible for us to bring this gospel of salvation to as many people as possible. For all those who have joined the sponsorship program, thank you so much. For all of you who would like to join, as you can see here, we have the link right below. You can scan with your telephone. You can access it online at worldchurchofmessiahusa.org. And over there, you'll see the page or the tab for the sponsorship program. You can access the information there. Our objective this year is to reach 75 families. Okay, so we'd like to enroll 75 families, not just in the US, worldwide. So if you're overseas and you'd like to contribute, you see that these messages are making a difference. You see that this is worth investing to bring to more and more people. This is a great way for you to do it, for a great way for you to participate, for your support, and helping us to fulfill this mission. This is something that Meishu-sama brought for all humanity. And with Kyosho-sama's permission, we're having the permission and the possibility to bring this to many, 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 many more people. So please don't miss out. If you are able to, you can log in through this QR code and find out how you can participate. Also, not only in the monetary aspects, but in the videos themselves. If you find that you had a study or a service with a message that really touched you, really moved you, please comment on it. Let us know. Let us know your reflections. Let us know your growth. Let us know what's making a difference for you. But don't just leave it at that. Don't just leave it at a comment. Press the share button. Share it with your family, share with your friends. This is the best way for us to get it out. Facebook algorithms, YouTube algorithms, the more that we hit that share button, the more that we react to the videos with the likes or the hearts, the more and more the video gets shared across the platform. So we're really blessed with this technology because it allows us to reach so many people instantaneously. God prepared this so that this message could go out to as many people as possible. So let's do our part and let's share. Okay, not just our messages. Please make sure you visit our pages from our official page in Japan, from our church in Japan. Visit their page and share from their page directly, World Church of Messiah, on Facebook. They are also on YouTube. They're on Instagram. Make sure you share that to as many people as possible. Okay, without further ado, then, I'd like to begin our study with the sacred oath. Sacred oath. With great fear of God, we acknowledge that the Lord God is our true Father, the one and only God. We revere Meishu-sama as the model for all humanity and as our own example to follow. Meishu-sama, who was born anew as a true child of God, the Messiah, by receiving the divine will that God accomplished in heaven. We believe that Jesus Christ, who 2,000 years ago embodied the name of Messiah, the name most holy and high, is serving the Lord God in unity with Meishu-sama. And we regard the messages of Kyosho-sama, who reveals to us the will of Meishu-sama in this material world, as the sole, absolute, and irreplaceable foundation in advancing our mission here on earth. Words of prayer. God, I acknowledge that you are alive. Within me, you are alive. I thank you for nurturing me to be newly born as your child. May this blessing be shared with all. In the name of Messiah, which is one with Meishu-sama, I surrender myself to you. Please use me as you wish. Okay, thank you very much. This week I chose an Instagram post and a hymn from Kyosho-sama that just got released, the hymn for January. I'd like to share with you. But first I'd like to share a post with you from Instagram. It's actually from a while back. This is from the official Instagram in our Japan church. And the post reads as follows. We say, I understand this, or I don't understand that. Everyone, this is Kyosho-sama we are talking about. Kyosho-sama will of course say things that go beyond our understanding, won't he? Kyosho-sama is Meishu-sama, isn't he? We must never forget that it is Meishu-sama who is guiding us through Kyosho-sama. Masaaki-sama. This was shared in the Paradise on Earth service on June 12th, 2021. And one of the reasons I brought this forth is because as Masaaki-sama is pointing out here, right, there are many things that Kyosho-sama is sharing with us that we might not comprehend at first. Many things that it might take a while for us to grasp, right? Even today, as I'm studying Kyosho-sama's messages, Masaaki-sama's greetings, there are many things that I realize that, I used to comprehend in a certain way, and it wasn't exactly what I comprehended. It wasn't that, right? And over, I keep seeing these kinds of examples. But I think it's very important, as Masaaki-sama is sharing here with us, to not forget that Meishu-sama is guiding us through Kyosho-sama, right? It is one. They're not two separate, right? Meishu-sama is alive, isn't he? Do we not believe that Meishu-sama is alive? So it's actually, it's like a double-edged sword, let's put it that way. If I can't accept that Meishu-sama is alive, I can't accept that Meishu-sama is working freely through Kyosho-sama as one, then I'm definitely not going to receive what Meishu-sama is trying to share. And at the same time, I'm going to commit the mistake, as we have done for so long, to hear things and make it ours. We take possession of that. So, like we've been seeing through Kyosho-sama's guidance, right? We took possession of God's consciousness, of God's life. We took possession of words such as God, faith, belief, love, religion, and we interpreted everything to our liking, to our convenience, right? And without even recognizing that Meishu-sama is alive, we disregarded not only Meishu-sama, we disregarded Meishu-sama working through Kyosho-sama, and we disregarded and disrespected Kyosho-sama. And above all, we've been rejecting and disregarding God all along. And, the reason I bring this up is because right now we have the grand ceremony to celebrate the birth of the Messiah coming up, as you're all aware. This is going to take place on June 15th, 2022. And I don't want to commit the same mistakes, right? I don't want to fall into that trap to think that, okay, I understand what this means and interpret it in that way and not really grasp the true meaning of this ceremony. I believe that this ceremony is unprecedented, right? Meishu-sama celebrated the provisional ceremony. We're doing the actual ceremony, celebrating it. And I believe that this has a great meaning for humanity. It has a great meaning for us, for being alive and being permitted to participate. But it's not just a great event. It's a very serious event. And there is a preparation that we need to make and prepare and direct ourselves toward this ceremony. What does this actually mean? Right, so Kyosho-sama in January shared with us his hymns. And one of the hymns here that Kyosho-sama shares with us is the following. Everyone, together, let us hold the grand ceremony to celebrate the birth of the Messiah on June 15th of this year. So this was one of the hymns. Kyosho-sama's whole heart and soul is in preparing us and together with us to hold this ceremony, right? So are we aligned with that? Are we aligned? Are we ready for this ceremony? As Kyo-sama is so aspiring, so wishing for us to be. For that, like we just read, we need to recognize that Meishu-sama and Kyoshu-sama are one. There's no way we can truly participate in this ceremony if we don't recognize that. And then if we don't see what's going on around us. Lately, regarding the church conflict that we have, and you'll see why in a few minutes. I won't call it a church purification as we've been doing it for so long, but this internal conflict that we've had within our church ever since actually Meishu-sama's transition, but now, so strong in our current times, up to the point that we as a church actually kicked out Kyo-sama, or thought that it was possible. Well, I won't say we, but I'm saying the people, our church, fellow church members who did such, right? We got to that extreme of rejecting Kyoshu-sama, rejecting the holy seed of Kyoshu, rejecting Meishu-sama being alive, and kicking Kyoshu-sama out. And we've been talking a lot about this conflict, right? And what does it mean to us? What does it mean to us here, right? And there are many people who might believe that it's irrelevant, right? That this has nothing to do with them, that it's something that's happening in Japan. So many people regarding this conflict in Japan, I've heard comments like, this is something that's happening there. It's irrelevant to us. But is it really irrelevant to us? Is it really something that we can separate from that? For a long time, I remember when I became a member many, many years ago, things that would happen in Japan, it was brushed off. This is happening there. It's not happening here. But is that really so? What does that mean for us? Right? What is our relation to this internal conflict that is happening in Japan? Is there a relationship to that? And I think we need to really think about this, really ask ourselves. On top of that, is this internal something internal that is just happening there? Or is it happening here? Do you believe we have nothing to do with that? There even, I've heard expressions like, as long as I serve God, He will be happy, it's fine. Oh, the church is going through this situation, but we're all following Meishu-sama. Are we really? Are we really following Meishu-sama? These are the questions that we have to face. Would you not agree? How do you think Meishu-sama is looking at us? How do you think he would see this situation? Would Meishu-sama say, well, this conflict is just happening in Japan, but as long as they're praying here on this part of the world, it's okay? Or maybe Meishu-sama would say, well, 68 years ago, I clearly stated that Jorei was not as important anymore. From now on, we entered the age of Sonin. But, here overseas, it's okay. At least they're praying to me. They didn't really listen to those words. They're praying, channeling Jorei. At least they're trying. Do you really believe Meishu-sama would be happy with that? And how do you think Meishu-sama would feel seeing us neglecting what's going on. In a way, being complacent and complicit to what's going on. Just letting it stand, just letting it go by. Do you think Meishu-sama, who has a true sense of justice, would be happy to see his followers? Or would he even call us his followers? So as we prepare for this grand ceremony for the birth of the Messiah, I think we need to really reflect on what posture, what attitude we are going and preparing towards the ceremony. Are we going to be seen by Meishu-sama as a true follower of Meishu-sama or not? And for that, this conflict in Japan and what's going on in Japan is very important for us to look at, for us to think about, for us to face, to deal with. And today, to start that, I would like to share with you the greeting by Masaaki-sama, "For I now know your love." It was shared in the May monthly service in Atami, May 1st, 2021. I'm not going to share the whole video. I'm going to share part of it and share some thoughts and feelings into it. And then we're going to continue next week as we prepare for this ceremony. Okay? So give me a few minutes and I'll put it on for you.
皆様、こんにちは。この教団の歴史っていうんですかね、は、争いの歴史であったと言っても過言ではないと思います。世界旧世教の今日までの歩みというのは、争いの歩みであったと思います。メス様ご昇天後、三代様ですね、三代様の時に、皆様ご存知のように、裁判はもちろんですけども、聖地を、奪い合って、拠点を奪い合って、警察がね、出動するようなこともあったと。で、それで、一応和解っていうことになるんですけども、また、その、主導権争いのようなことでですね、今、教祖様がいらっしゃるのが都合が悪いということで、これが、尾行のようなね、ことをして、追い出してしまおうということになったと。で、これが、よく思いますと、私たち教団浄化って言いますけども、それは外部とかね、神様とかメス様が、いや、これは浄化ですよって言うなら、わかりますよね。それは、いや、これはね、本当はいいことのためなんだと。でも私たちこれは内紛ですからね、本来は私たちが、これは浄化だという本当は立場にないんじゃないのかなと、最近改めて、そのことをね、思ったわけです。ある家族が争って、周りの家に迷惑かけて、いや、これは浄化だって普通言うべきではないですよね。やはりこれはすいませんでしたと。これは争いで、家族内の争いでね、ご迷惑かけて申し訳ございませんでしたと、言うべきことなのかなと。っていうように、本当に、この教団の歩みは、争いの歩みであったということなんですけども、これでね、メイス様が一体何とおっしゃるのかなと、いうことなんですけども、これが大乗愛 っていう御言葉がねあるんですけども、それでメス様は愛を唱える宗教には必ずと言いたいくらい集団内の争いがあると。まあヨーロッパで言えば十字軍とか、日本で言えば、僧侶がね、仏教の僧侶同士が兵隊になって争ったこともありましたねと、その御言葉で書いておられます。この十字軍っていうのは本来このキリスト教徒がイスラムに対してね、聖地奪還するために、キリスト教徒が聖地奪還するために仕掛けた戦いですので、細かく言うと集団内ということとは違いますけども、大きな意味でユダヤキリスト教徒っていう大きな枠組みの中ではそういうふうに言ってもいいのかなと思います。で結局としたら、メス様がおっしゃるにはですよ、としたら争いのある宗教はもはや宗教人としての資格を喪失したわけであるとおっしゃってますね。争いのある宗教はもはや宗教人としての資格を喪失したわけであると。これだから私たちどうしますか。この世界旧世教ですよの歩みはもう本当に誰もが争いの内紛の歴史だと思ってますよ。それをメス様は争いのある宗教はもはや宗教人としてのね資格を喪失したとおっしゃる。だからこれはよく私たち争っている時にね、このメス様の御心はこうだとか、いや自分はねメス様の御心分かるとか、メス様の御心を求めてって簡単に言うけども、本来私たちはそのメス様の目の字も言うね資格が本当はないと、メス様から言わせればですよ。あるいは見教えとか御言葉でね、いやこれが御言葉、こういう御言葉があるとか、メス様の見教えはこうだとかっていう、その見教え御言葉のその身の字を言う資格も本当はないわけですよ。宗教人としてのね資格を喪失しているわけですから。あるいはね、自分はメス様の信徒だと思ってますけども、宗教人じゃないっていうことはもはや本当は世界旧世教に属する信徒すべて、もちろん私も含めてですけども、メス様のね信徒であるっていう資格はないんだと。メス様の御言葉から言えばそうなりますね。で、これはそのメス様の御言葉だけじゃなくて、これ世の中の人もですよ。そもそも新宗教っていうものはね、うがった目で、見られますよね。その新宗教の中で、その争いをしてたら、私たちはね、いや自分たちは正しいとか相手が悪いっていうふうに思いますけども、それは世の中の人から見たらもうどっちもどっちじゃないかと。そんな宗教でありながら争いをしてねっていうふうに思われてしまうと。だから確かにね、いろんな活動ありますね。芸術活動とかお花活動とかいろいろこの社会に対してね、いいことしてますっていうふうなね、自分たちの宗教をこうしてますと言っても、それは、メス様のお歌に、歌敵は文化の衣に包まれて野蛮を行う人にありけると。歌敵っていうのは、気の毒とか情けないっていうことですけども、歌敵は文化の衣に包まれて野蛮を行う人にありけると。だからどんなにこういうことしてます、こういうことしてますと言っても、尾行盗聴盗撮っていうことがあって、あれは我々自分たちと無関係と思ってますけども、あれは我々の仲間がしたことですよ。同じメス様を信仰する仲間がしたこととしたら、もう私はそれはもう同罪だと思いますよ。そのあの人たちがっていう種類のことじゃなくて、もうどんなに我々はね、文化の衣に、いかにも文化のね、普通の人だみたいにしてても、私たちの本性は 結局、尾行盗撮するようなものが私たちのね、本性じゃないのかと。それを、一部の人たちに名主様が担わせて、ああいう行いをさせたと。私たちがそれを知るためですよ。私たちの本性をですね。だから本当に、それでね、いや、それは私たちに関係ないっていうふうなね、30年前の三代様のご城下の時のこともね、ご存じない方もいらっしゃったり、いや、私はそれ関係ないとか、尾行盗聴盗撮っていうのも自分は関係ないっていうふうにね、私たちは思いたいけれども、でもこの争いをね、ずっと繰り返してきたことについて、本当に名主様に対して、宗教人としての資格を本当は喪失しておりましたと。今まで誰がね、そういうふうに名主様に対してお詫び申し上げたことがあるのかなと、思うわけなんですね。名主様。
How about that? Just stopping here right now. As we were asking those questions, would Meishu-sama really look at us as his followers? Here, Masaaki-sama shares with us in this video this quote from Meishu-sama, right? If you have conflicts within your religion or other religions, it means that you no longer possess the right to be a person of religion. So Meishu-sama is looking at us, at our church. He's not saying it's okay for them to ignore what's going on, is he? He's not saying, well, as long as they're praying, as long as they're trying, it's okay. Meishu-sama is clearly stating, if you have conflicts within your religion or other religions, it means that you no longer possess the right to be a person of religion. And this conflict within our church didn't start just now. It started in Meishu-sama's time, right after his transition, as we saw in the video up to now. Right, this struggle and this lack of acceptance of the holy seed of Kyoshu, which it all comes down to. Not accepting Meishu-sama alive and working through that. Pathetic are those who, even though they are wrapped in cloths of culture, commit barbaric acts. This is another quote from Meishu-sama that Masaaki-sama shares in this video. Pathetic are those who, even though they are wrapped in cloths of culture, commit barbaric acts. And as Masaaki-sama shared here, correct? We can try very hard to seem like normal people, to seem like cultured people, but we are just wrapped in cloths of culture. Meaning we are barbaric in nature. And who revealed that nature to us? Meishu-sama, was it not? Using the very people from within our church to show us that we all have this nature within us. Do you think Meishu-sama is just happy? As long as we're praying or we continue to do things in accordance to our own convenience? Oh, I channeled Jorei all day today. Oh, I went and I did my service at church. But I didn't reflect on what Meishu-sama left for me. When the situation of the purification of the church was brought up, I didn't think, oh, this has something to do with me. Rather, I blamed the church in Japan. They're doing it there. or this is so and so's fault or so and so's fault. And I didn't stop to recognize that Meishu-sama is using this very situation to show us how we are committing these barbaric acts. Secretly following, secretly filming someone. Is that something of faith that Meishu-sama would want? Can you honestly say, with a clear consciousness before Meishu-sama, I approve of these acts? They were necessary? Can you also continue and say, I had nothing to do with that? This is something that was done there? Masaaki-sama says, for this, has anyone truly apologized to Meishu-sama, admitting that we are the ones who no longer possess the right to be people of religion? I think it's very important for us as we come into this very decisive moment on June 15th, 2022, celebrating the grand ceremony of the birth of Messiah, that we recognize our true nature that was revealed to us. We recognize how far we came, how far we deviated from Meishu-sama, from Meishu-sama's true will, and how hard and tirelessly Kyoshu-sama has been working to bring us back. When people say to me, this is something that's happening in Japan, this has nothing to do with us. At first, I used to get kind of frustrated, right? How can people not see that this is the very posture and attitudes that we have within ourselves that's being reflected to us? But then I also realized that me, myself, I have not truly recognized what this means. I have not truly repented for it. That God is also showing me that I truly have not accepted these very unethical, unreligious acts. And for that, I need to reflect before even participating in such a service that will take place this year. And it's with that thought in mind, with that heart, that I like to prepare with each one of you as we continue the study of this video. Right? What is the posture, the attitude that Meishu-sama had toward all humanity, toward his sins before God? And how Meishu-sama did. And what Kyoshu-sama is showing us through that for us to be able to do as well, to recognize as well. And from that point, I like to pick up next week with you as we continue our study next week. May all glory, may all honor be returned to God always.